Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be doing a flip through of my Hobonichi Weeks and sort of just talking about how I use this planner. I've really been enjoying it and it's become my everyday carry, super functional little planner. So let's jump right in. I did not get this planner until a couple months into the year, so the first few spreads are blank. My first spread is actually in April, and I'll be honest with y'all, this is back planned. So it's a bit more neat and organized than my other spreads, but I still really like how it turned out. And before I go on, the pen that I always use in here is this Hobonichi Techo pen. It has 3 different colors, but I tend to stick with the black. I also do some highlighting with my favorite zebra mild liners, and the brush lettering you see is with Stabilo brush pens. Sorry about the glare. I'll have the planner and all the products I mentioned linked down below if you're curious about where you can find anything. Okay, so jumping into the spread, because this is a very functional planner for me, I knew I didn't want it to be super decorative, so I stuck with just a couple strips of washi tape and a few stickers where I could fit them in, mainly on the weekend. Starting over here with the actual weekly spread, I always put down big events first, so if I have a plan with me that's going live or any video that I need to check on and make sure it uploaded correctly, I'll mark that. Of course, bills, new releases, and other events, those go down first. And then I'll go back and fill in smaller things that I need to get done or that I just want to get done. And if I have room, like I said, on the weekend, I tend to be less busy, so I'll mark small things like sleeping in, watching a movie with my sister, or just decorate with cute stickers that I have laying around. On the side page, I do section off another little box, and I wanted to do this because this space, I think, this whole page is too big for me to use as a whole, so I wanted to separate it into different things. So I sectioned off this column, and then I wasn't sure what I wanted to do with it, so I decided to try putting my Bible studies there. And that was okay, but because I record that in my Hobonichi Cousin, I felt it was a little bit repetitive. So you'll see I don't do that for the rest of these spreads, but that was just how I started it. Over here, I tried marking when I do content creation, so when I post on Instagram, when I post on YouTube, and when I send out email newsletters. I like this, but I feel like it looks weird because I don't use social media that much, and it's really blank. So when I look at it, I feel like it seems like it's a habit tracker that I failed at, if that makes sense. I might try to incorporate that again though, because it is interesting to track my content creation. Below that, I have a this week section, and I just wrote a few things, I guess highlights from my week. It's not always highlights, but just big things that sort of an overview of the week, if you will. So that's my first spread. Moving into my second spread in this planner, I changed a few things. So I highlighted the sidebar where you would normally put date covers if you were going to use date covers. And I actually really like how that turned out. It just adds some color to the spread, and it gives you a way to section off the weekend if you don't have a weekend banner. I also used a few more stickers this week, especially on the sidebar, but let me start over here first. So things are basically the same. I keep it mostly pen and just add in a few stickers, mostly from my leftovers binder that happen to fit the color scheme or just be useful this week. So for example, the payday sticker, I could have gone without putting that down, but it's cute and I wanted to incorporate it, so I went ahead and added it. And then again, the weekend tends to be memory planning, not so much what I actually need to do. I don't usually write a to-do list, so I think it turns out really cute that way. On the sidebar, or I call it the sidebar, but on the second page this week, first off, this brush lettering is actually done with a Tombow Fudenosuke brush pen. I'll link this down below as well. I separated off this little column with a highlighter this time, and I think it looks really nice. And I used it to track my exercise. And then I did the same thing as last week where I wrote some highlights or an overview of the week, and I incorporated some stickers. I think this looks really good. This might be one of my favorite spreads that I've done so far. Okay, next up, I actually filmed a plan with me for this spread, so if you want to see my entire thought process going into it, I'll link that video in the cards. This week I tried just highlighting the dates with one color, and I definitely don't like it as much as the two colors, but it was fun to experiment with. And then over here on the sidebar, if you can see, I've written down YouTube and Instagram and made little dots next to it because I found myself checking my social medias and my accounts way too many times a day. So I wanted to start keeping track of it, and as soon as I knew that I was going to have to write down and record how many times I visited these accounts, I immediately backed off because I didn't want to write down that I checked my Instagram, 15 times in a single day. So that really helped. And then I also was recording my exercise, except for Friday. I wanted to use the Made It to Friday sticker, so I put that down. Then I have my big to-do list. This lettering is again done with the Tombow Furunosuke. And I also did a daily highlight. These are hard for me sometimes because sometimes I feel like I really have to dig for them, and I don't like that as much as just, doing a broad overview of the week with a couple of cute stickers. So this probably won't feature very much in my next spreads, but it was fun to try. Okay, this week, I did leave for vacation on part of this week, so it's not as full as the rest of my spreads, but I think it's really cute despite the fact that I am not a fan of orange usually, but I had this starfish sticker that I wanted to use, and I wanted everything to match, obviously, so I went with an orange and also sort of peach theme. Changing things up a bit this week, I did a priority section over here on the side, so I wrote down what I needed to get done every day or until I went on vacation, so 4 days out of the week. And I think it worked really well. The only problem is this is a super busy week and I had a lot going on, so I'm not sure if I could necessarily pick a priority. I mean, I can always pick one, but some weeks it's just going to be something I picked. It's not going to be something that's actually more important than other things on my list. But I think this is a good format for when I do have a lot going on and I'll have to remember it. I did a reflection down here, so I didn't really write down specific events, but more like how I felt throughout the week. And that was interesting. I haven't been doing that much journaling lately, so this was a good way to sort of get back into that. The next spread is blank because I was on vacation this entire week, and I thought about going back and journaling it in here, but because this is a functional planner, I don't know. I don't even know how I would mark all the fun things and relaxing, so I probably will just leave this blank. Moving into the next spread, I was still on vacation part of this week, so it's empty, but other than that, I think it's really cute. This was it was Memorial Day week, so I did a Memorial Day theme. I did the 2 highlight colors on the side, which I love, and then added some fun washi tapes and stuff. And again, I was tracking just my YouTube and Instagram stats because I opened my shops again this week, and that was something I was concerned about was, throwing myself way back into work and immediately checking my Instagram 1,000 times when it didn't need to be checked that many times. So that is what was going on. This week I also marked that it turned into June and did some movies and stuff, so yeah, I really like this spread too. It was nice to incorporate washi tape in a different way. I like how I used the strip to mark off these blank boxes and add some color so it doesn't look like it's super empty. Okay, this spread is really fun because I finally used a kit in my Hobonichi Weeks. I have been avoiding doing that because I was super, I don't know, is it intimidated, I guess is the right word, about using a kit. I have not used a kit in one of these planners in a very long time, and I was worried it would look too crowded or just messy, so I was hesitating, but when I released this Winston back to school kit, I knew I wanted to use it somehow, so I decided to go ahead and use it in here. I'm not in school, so I can just sort of use it whenever. So I used the date covers, as you can see, and then I used most of the checklists and also a lot of the little boxes. I also got to use the tiny weekend banner, which I love. So since I had the checklist, I did use those most of the days. I did incorporate some full boxes just to sort of incorporate the colors more and also add a little bit more fun. On the sidebar, I went back to doing YouTube and Instagram stats as well as my workouts, except for the weekend I kind of fell off on that. I don't reach for this planner that much on the weekends because it is more of a work and functional planner, So sometimes I do leave the weekends blank, but I don't think that's a big deal. On the sidebar over here, I didn't have, my to-do list didn't fill up the whole sidebar, so I started a grocery list, which was really helpful. And then I did another this week section at the bottom. Okay, this is the current week that we're on right now, and it's not done yet, so that's why the spread is kind of empty. But I wanted to do a green theme because I found this little green cup sticker from Happy Daya in my collection. I really wanted to use it, so I decided to pull in some green washi tapes and go to town. I did the separated weekend with the different color. I love how that looks. I'm definitely going to keep that up whenever I do these no kit spreads. Other than that, it's pretty typical. I use my highlighter to mark off some big events, and then I just did checklists. I did mark some things for the weekend that I know are happening and that I need to kind of get ready for. I'm tracking my Insta stats and my exercise. I also have a to-do list, and then I'm filling out this week bar as a sort of overview. So that's all I've done in this planner so far. I'm already excited to fill out the next few weeks and keep trying new things. I like trying just 1 or 2 new things a week instead of trying to do a completely different spread every time. I think it's really fun. I'm also getting a lot of inspiration from Ashley when it comes to this planner because she does have a Hobonichi Weeks and I like the way she uses it. I'll try to get her on here soon for an update about how she's planning. Yeah, I definitely think that this spread or this one is my favorite from this planner, but I feel like I shouldn't pick this one because it was technically back planned, so maybe I'll go with this one. I'd be very curious to know what your favorite spread is, and I hope y'all enjoyed seeing this planner on my channel. I know it's not as fun and decorative as my other planners, but if you enjoyed seeing how I use this and you'd like to see more flip-throughs in the future, please let me know and I can definitely film them. As always, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye!